Pronoun reference. Pronoun reference are used as substitutes for nouns. Some examples of pronouns are this, that, they, it, and so on so forth. These pronoun references are normally used in place of the noun which have been mentioned earlier in order to reduce the numbers of repetitions of the respective nouns. However, when it is used incorrectly, the pronouns can obscure the meaning of a sentence. These are the common errors that we normally make when we are writing the technical papers. The table here demonstrates several common errors that is related to the pronoun reference. First is the unclear pronoun reference. This is an example sentence. Writers should set aside time for revising their documents to make sure they are perfect. The pronouns there is unclear. If you look at the sentence carefully, there is a slight confusion who actually the they refers to. Is it referring to the writers or referring to the document? Normally, when we construct this kind of sentence, we know that who they refers to. However, it is not necessarily clear to the readers. This leads to a situation that the readers will need to guess who actually the they is referring to. Sometimes the reader may be able to guess by looking at the meanings, omitting the meaning which is clearly illogical. This can be done, but as obligations as an author, you should have those resolved at the first place. It should not reach to the stage that the readers guessing for themselves the actual meaning of the sentence. As the corrections for the sentence here, you may write in this manner instead. Writers should set aside time for revising their documents to make sure these documents are perfect. Now, if you put this document here, it is clear that it is referring to the document. The sentence now becomes clear, and it does not require the readers to guess the actual meaning of it. The second error related to the pronoun reference, it will be the vague subject pronoun. Let us look at an example here. The reactions between the nitric oxide and ozone results in the productions of nitrogen dioxide and molecular oxygens. It plays an important role in the chemistry of the ozone layer that surrounds the Earth and protects us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiations. Now there is a it here which is not clear, that leads to the guessing of the reader. By looking into the subjects that appear within the sentences, this will lead to you guessing that what actually this it mean. Does it refer to the molecular oxygens? Or does it referring to the productions of nitrogen dioxide and molecular oxygens? Or is it actually referring to the reactions between nitric oxide and ozone? Or is it referring to the entire preceding sentences? This made the message to be unclearly delivered to the reader. As a correction for this sentence should be used instead. The reactions between nitric oxide and ozone results in the productions of nitrogen dioxide and molecular oxygens. This process play an important role in the chemistry of the ozone layer that surrounds the Earth and protects us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiations. When you put the term this process, it is actually meant by the reactions between nitrate oxide and ozones. This will save the readers from guessing what does this it referring to. The third common error for the pronouns is the pronoun agreement error. It is normally related to the singular and plural conditions of the nouns and the pronoun. Taking this as an example, Apple has launched their new iPhone 6. The pronoun here, there, is a plural pronoun, but the apple here is a singular noun. It is referring to the company producing the iPhone 6. In this case, there is a disagreement between the singular and plural nouns. Corrections for this, it will be Apple has launched its new iPhone 6. Now you have both the pronouns and the nouns are in the singular mode. Remember I mentioned about for the non-native English speaker like us, we normally receive the comments by the reviewer, poor grammar, which most of the time are also referring to the poor readability. And I observed that this pronoun reference is one of the major reasons that leads to poor readability in our writings. We easily overlook this, especially when we are doing the first draft. And then the next time we come back and revisit our writings, no matter how fresh it is in our mind, trying to become objective and non-biased, but there are always a prior understanding which can easily lead to us omitting this pronouns reference whether it is done correctly. Since that we have mentioned about this problem, next time when we are constructing the sentences, especially when we are using the pronouns in replace to some nouns which is mentioned earlier, we will need to be extra careful, look into the structures of the sentence, and then always ask ourselves, what does the pronouns actually mean? If you can find more than one possibility there, that means the pronouns that you use is not precise. You will need to make it more specific in order to avoid confusions.